Hello and welcome to Ferris Sports Update. I'm your host, Rob Bentley, and thanks for tuning in. On today's show, we'll update you on the Ferris State men's basketball team as they continue their impressive play here early in the season. We'll also check in with Bulldog hockey after a big win on Saturday night, and we'll talk women's basketball. They got a win as well. We'll start first, though, with Bulldog basketball, joined by Associate Head Coach Raymoan McAfee. Coach, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. Good to be here always.
Before we get into the segment, obviously, Associate Head Coach, that title change coming this past offseason. What did that mean to have that title change and be a part still of Ferris State basketball?
It just shows that, hard work is paying off, carving out a little bit of reputation, and moving up in the ranks, which is always the goal, so it shows how much Coach values, what I do for the program, and I can't thank him enough.
Obviously, Bulldogs off to a great start here, 16-3 overall, and still unbeaten, the only unbeaten team remaining here in the GLIAC.
Man, that's, just hard work paying off, man. We take it one game at a time, and we try to win them all. Drop 3 early, but, we got a lot of games ahead of us, and we're going to try to win the rest of them. Obviously,
as we go to some of the highlights this past week, busy week on the road. You had an early week game, good win on the road at Northwood, and then on Thursday at Saginaw and Saturday at Wayne State, and really played well on the road, well enough to win some games.
Yeah, man, that was a big week. Each game had a different level of physicality, which has kind of been our weak point. But shout out to the guys for responding. I mean, we won a couple of those rebounding battles, tied with Wayne State, which was a real tough one. But our guys are stepping up and responding. Our leaders are leading in the ways they're supposed to. This is the first time for a lot of our young guys being in the trenches like this, but they're stepping up and making big plays as much as they can, and we can't do nothing but be happy for the guys. So it's good.
Obviously, here in this game against Saginaw Valley, took the halftime lead, but it's a game that was back and forth here, and they certainly competed against you guys.
Yeah, taking in the lead at halftime on the road is, that's something to be proud of. Whether it's 1 point, 10 points, it really doesn't matter. Having a lead on the road, that's what you want to do. Saginaw is a tough team. They had us down late at home, and they made some adjustments, and we made some adjustments. It was different with Witt being out this game. Might have been a different one, but we planned the whole week, pretty much around him. So shout out to our guys for adjusting. Being coachable on the fly, and that's how you come out and win those big games, especially 3 in a row on the road.
Just saw Lee Higgins with a big basket right there, led the way with 23 points. Walt Kelser with 21, and those two really got it going offensively for you.
Yeah. We know what Walt's going to do, but Lee is really coming into his own the second time around the conference play, and we want to send him out on top. He came here for this reason, to be 11-0 in conference, and we got to put a ring on his finger. So that's what we said in the recruitment, and he's holding up his end of the bargain, so we want to do the same for him.
Nice win on the road. First visit to Saginaw Valley in almost a couple years, and they had a nice crowd on hand, so always nice to get a big road win here in conference play.
Yeah, always. It's a lot of familiar faces. I have family in Saginaw. We have our usual families travel with us. The guys know a lot of the Saginaw players, so it always makes for a fun atmosphere, and then a lot of talent on the floor for the fans to enjoy.
Obviously, you got that win. You came back on Saturday and making the return to Detroit, the new Wayne State Fieldhouse. I know you're a Detroit native. What did it mean to go back and play in front of a lot of family and friends in Detroit?
That's a nice place as well. But great to be in front of some familiar faces. My dad, who can't make a lot of the games, he was there in rare form, yelling and screaming and shouting. So it was fun to have him there. Again, I just like to see the guys perform and put smiles on the crowd's faces. When they come out and they play the way they did, rebound and make the people who came out and support us proud, that's just a feeling that you can't really explain.
Talked about physical play. This first half very physical, not a whole lot of whistles, and they really let the guys go at it here in the first half.
Yeah, which we knew was pretty much going to happen. It's just a matter of getting out there. You can only simulate so much in practice. So when we get out there, it's something that we kind of have to adjust to. But the guys made the adjustments. They settled down just enough to get a lead going into halftime, and we got better this game. We really got better, and hopefully we can take those experiences, heading into the rest of the season and the playoffs.
Obviously, this game here, a new venue with Wayne State having a new facility. They've got a new head coach, a former assistant that took over, but still a same classic Ferris State, Wayne State type of ball game.
Yeah, EJ played at Wayne State. He's been around Greer for a lot of years. So we didn't expect too much to change, especially as far as the physicality and the way they play defense and things of that nature. So I mean that's pretty much the same expectation there. It's unfortunate they have some guys out with injuries. They have some really nice pieces. We haven't seen them with a full team yet. Marshall was out this game. Lewis was out when they came to our place. I mean, so that's another team you gotta look out for in the playoffs.
Obviously, a big block shot right there. You had some young guys come in off the bench, and as they've done kind of all year long, really gave you a big lift off the bench.
Yeah, and we're expecting them to. We letting them know that it's okay to make those big plays. You can make big plays. We kind of rely on our starters a lot and our leaders, our seniors, but those young guys whose first time being in the fire like that, it's okay for them guys to make big plays, and they know that, and they're stepping up and doing it.
Big win on the road as you win your third straight all on the road this past week, and now back at home finally here after being on the road for a long stretch there. Two big games coming up against West Michigan rivals Davenport and Grand Valley this week.
Yeah, I mean, again, two more physical games, tough games, not going to be easy. We got to come in with the same mentality as we did with Wayne State. I mean, it's not going to be easy just because we're at home. We might know a few angles, get a couple bounces, but we're still going to have to come in, defend like crazy, and rebound and be physical and match that physicality. Davenport's a tough team. We haven't beat them in a while. We're looking to get that monkey off our back as well.
How tough is it as you face these teams for the second time? You haven't faced Davenport yet, but you'll face them twice coming up here in the span of 3 or 4 days. Facing Grand Valley for the second time, how much more of a challenge is that playing these teams the second time around?
I mean, it's just keying into the minor adjustments. I mean, a lot of the teams, they don't want to make the same mistakes that they made in the first game, and we don't either. And when you go back and watch, you can see some other points of attack, so we don't know what their game plan is. It might be a lot of the same, but they might have picked up 1 or 2 things. So we're going to have our game plan, which we might not change too much because we won. But once they start to, attack our game plan, we're going to have to be ready to adjust, just like any other game.
Maybe talk about how the guys really put the time in the offseason. Obviously, last year a challenging year for everyone. The Bulldogs no different, but to be able to come back this year and have the success that you've had so far, talk about that work they've put in.
I mean, credit to those guys because, the NCAA rules, we can't really be on hand with the guys in the summertime. But, I mean, that last year left a bad taste in our mouth. We were 9-11. I mean, we recruited these guys on results as far as national championships, tournament championships, and things of that nature. And, 9-11 year, COVID really, but not to make excuses, those guys really took that to heart. And they wanted to get better. They wanted to come in and win games, and they wanted to go out on top. Our seniors, Logan, Dorian, and Walt, bringing in Lee, those guys want to go out on top. So, I mean, I've seen firsthand that they put the work in, and it's paying off. We had a big powwow. We had to recommit ourselves to, what was important and the way we're going to do things, going into the next year. And then, of course, not being quarantined all the time and, not having so many times off and such restrictions and things of that nature. Gym time is freeing up. I mean, shout out to the guys for taking advantage.
Well, Coach, thanks for being with us. Congrats on the great results so far, and best of luck as you're back at home this week against Davenport and Grand Valley.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
We'll be back with more Ferris Sports Update right after this.